Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Select Board meeting for Thursday, May 12th. First item on our agenda is a salute to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Under old business, we have nothing. Under new business, first item on the agenda is a proposed Covewood Drive article, which will be included on this year's warrant. Currently, it reads as follows. It is Article
15.
Is it 15? Okay.
15.
I'm not seeing it in Article 15. Bill, this is not the same agenda, the same article.
That's the one you just...
Oh, they're stacked. I apologize. Sorry, we have multiple drafts here. Article 15. Does the town wish for the Select Board to pursue a termination of interest in Covewood Drive through the process of continuation? I'm going to actually let you guys, since I was not there when it was originally brought in. How did this process begin?
Discontinuance.
No. How did the process of having this article come on?
Tuesday, we were approached by David Cody. He came in with an article asking us to discontinue Covewood Drive and then go through the procedure to discontinue it. And because of the process that has to be involved to do it, we couldn't do it this year. And so what we've done instead is written an article asking the town if they're interested in having us pursue this. Because as a board, we had decided to put everything forward that anybody asked us to do as long as it was legal. And because he asked us to do this, we're putting it on the warrant and then give a chance to have a discussion on the floor. So all we're asking the town is, do they want us to pursue this? We're not asking them to discontinue on this warrant.
Okay. Anything further, Bill?
No, I think that covers Covewood Drive.
Okay. Great. Moving on. Advertisement for the transfer station. Bill, that's you.
Yes, the summer attendant that we normally get, to handle the excess business in the dump or the transfer station. We don't have anybody right now, so we are going to advertise for a part-time dump attendant, and that will start after Memorial Day, or the Memorial Day weekend. That should be in the local papers, I guess, and I think it's already on the town website.
And the cable channel.
And the cable channel.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bill. Next up, we have a planning board appointment for Robert Kane.
I make a motion we appoint Robert Kane to be the alternate on the planning board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And while we're at it, gentlemen, could we clean up some business as far as when we appointed Arthur Kelly, we appointed him for the wrong date. So we need to sign another appointment form. So if we could just do that, that would be great.
I make a motion we appoint Art Kelly to 2012, is that what?
No,
2011.
just
2011, okay.
And then in June, your first meeting in June, or your last meeting in June, or your first meeting in July, it's when you reappoint.
Yeah.
Then he'll get up.
Because he's moved to be the voting member, he has to finish out the term of the person he's, okay.
Right.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Kane in turn is replacing Art Kelly. So he finishes out Art Kelly's term, and then, which is 2012.
Okay.
Okay, so we now have a full planning board. That's always a nice feeling. Okay. Next item is a summer membership opportunity for the gym. We have, as I'm sure everyone is aware, a large population of snowbirds. It was brought to our attention that it is perhaps not correct to expect snowbirds to pay for a full year membership when they are not actually in residence for a full year. So we are offering a snowbird resident membership from April 1 through October 31st at a cost of $80. So it's a
How much?
$80.
80.
As opposed to the 120. Any further comments?
No? I think
Okay.
that's self-explanatory.
Number 5, every year we have the same conversation regarding 4th of July weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. Will the town hall be open on the Saturday of these holiday weekends? In order to avoid having to have this conversation any further, as of July 1st, we are going to not be open the first and last Saturday of the month, but rather the second and third Saturday of the month, which conveniently have absolutely no holidays in them ever. So, anyone have anything to add to that? Okay, so that is from now on, second and third Saturdays are going to be the town hall opening Saturdays. It is posted currently on the cable channel. It will be posted in the local newspapers in Lorraine's column, we hope, and Mary Waterhouse's column. It's on the website, and I expect we can make some space for it on the marquee out front as well, to make sure it's well advertised, so that our summer residents are still being served on those Saturdays as well as our year-round residents, but we don't have to not serve them by being closed on holiday weekends. Okay.
Isn't that going to be a hardship on them? Because they're not open on 4th of July weekend.
We're not open anyway because we close for the,
Okay.
so it's actually a benefit.
Any of those holidays that they would be up here. and
Barbara,
then not
Barbara?
leave.
Can we hold comments till the end like we make everybody else? Okay, thank you. I'm going to pass off number 6 to whoever knew about number 6.
Okay, this is from Central Maine Power, and tomorrow they are going to have a temporary outage from 9 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning, and the area affected will be in the Great East Lake Extension from pole number 27 to the end of the line, including all side roads, which include Crawford Lane, Brewer Lane, B-R-E-A-U Lane, Henderson Lane, Red School House Road, and Mahoney Lane. That's from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And this is for the purpose of putting in a new power line.
And the names are Central Maine Power's names, they're not our road names.
Oh,
The Red Schoolhouse is going to be Buzzell Road area. So I don't know what the other ones are, but that's Central Maine Power's names, not ours.
Oh, isn't that not convenient?
Do you know where there's a new house that's being built down there? No?
This is on, from what I gather, this is on the other side of the lake, the Wilson Lake side of Great East, not this side.
Right.
So, no, I don't go to that side.
Okay.
That's the south part of town, I don't go over there.
Okay.
that doesn't say anything else.
All set?
Yep.
Okay. As our liaison to Warrant and Finance, you want to take number 7?
Yeah, we've finally given the final draft of the warrant to the Warrant and Finance Committee. They will be voting and making their recommendations on 5/23, and we will be signing the warrant on 5/26 at our regular Thursday night meeting.
Okay, great. And at which point we hope to have copies available to the public, and it will be posted up on the website as well. Anything else from?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Number 8, do we wish to recess what are we going to do for 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think why don't we just continue on and...
Take it out of order?
Yeah, I make a motion, we take number 8 and put it out of order, and put it down to after
After announcements.
announcements.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So at this point, we will open up the floor, Mrs. Seeker, to any other business. Or Marion?
I'd like to update the chart here. We reached $1,000.
Yay!
So we're coming along nicely. I'll fill it in better later. I have money just handed to me. I don't know why. Do I look like I probably could use it? I was at the Hours yesterday and I was just handed money. I came out of the post office, I was handed money. Keep them coming.
Thank you. Any other business?
Dennis Long. Last week I'd asked some questions about some maintenance, repairs and stuff. Do you have any answers for me yet?
Yeah, Michelle gave us a paper today with all of the things that you've mentioned. The only one that we haven't done yet is the siding. And my students and I will be coming in to start scraping and painting. I haven't looked at what needs to be replaced. It said something about there's some rotted siding out there. Is that out on this side of the building, Dennis?
On the north end, it was budgeted to replace that siding.
It has to be replaced.
The rest of it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet, but we are going to start on working on the painting and scraping and all that, and so we will be doing it under this year's budget.
That was the advice of the gentleman that did the work on the town hall.
Oh, okay. The guy that did the beams,
And did the lower part of the...
Mr. Noon.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so I'll look into that and see, if it's something that we can do with my students, and we'll do it as volunteers. If it's something beyond my students' capability, then we'll look into getting somebody in to come in, putting it out to bid to have somebody come in and do that.
You're going to do the ramp out front?
That wasn't on there. Well, it mentioned ramp, but I thought there was the ramp out here, the railing on the ramp.
The railing needs to be...
Yeah, and we fixed that.
Well, at the end of the ramp, it needs to take a left-hand turn so it follows, so that people don't go down over the hill. It's a liability issue.
Okay.
But
yeah, so Michelle did find the article, and it had been written down, the items that you had said that were there, and we just received that today. Okay.
excuse me. The other thing is this Covewood thing. A couple of questions I would have is at town meeting. Obviously, that's when it would be discussed. There's not going to be a public hearing on that before that.
It's not to discontinue. It's an article to continue. The wording of the article is exactly as I read it, to see if the town does the town, it's going to be a yes or no question. Does the town wish for the select board to pursue a termination of interest in Covewood Drive through the process of discontinuance? The idea behind it is to test the tenor of the town, because the process for discontinuance involves us, first off, notifying the people that abut the road that we are going to be holding a meeting in which we vote on whether or not to issue a statement of discontinuance. Then we have to have our assessor or an appraiser company go out and assess the monetary damages that will be owed to each abutter. We then hold a meeting, our board holds a meeting, publicly posted meeting, in which someone on the board would make a motion to issue a statement of discontinuance, or I'm missing one of the words, issue a decision towards discontinuance. It's not the exact right word, but you get the idea. And then we vote on it. And if our board votes yes, then we also vote to accept the damages awards. And then we record that with the town clerk. And then that vote goes to the people at town meeting. And the vote that the people at town meeting take at that point is, does the town wish to uphold the vote of the selectmen to discontinue an issuance of discontinuance, that's what it is, to discontinue the road. And then there's a second warrant article that would go before the town that says, is the town willing to raise and appropriate the dollars needed to pay the damages to each of the residents? if the town, so if the selectmen vote yes to issue the discontinuance, and if the town meeting votes to uphold that discontinuance, at that point, the road has been discontinued. Damages are awarded, and then the people that live on that road have the right to contest it in two ways. They can contest whether we did it legally or not, and that goes to one set of courts. And they can also contest whether or not the damages awarded to them truly represented the financial damage, the monetary damages that they incurred. So that's the entire discontinuance process. When the warrant article was brought to us, it was brought as a warrant article that would read, does the town vote to discontinue Covewood Drive? We're not putting that forward because it doesn't go through those steps. This is a compromise, if you will. As Ted said, we have been saying if somebody brings us forward something that is legal, and this article is not illegal because it's not asking to discontinue. It's simply asking for basically a straw poll of the town meeting. Do you guys want us to continue on with this or not? Do you want us to pursue this? And at that point, we will have a sense of what the town wishes to do, and we as a board will then can then start the process of sending out the letters and so forth, if that's what the town wishes for us to do.
Would you,
If they vote it down, then we don't do anything. It's all gone away. It's all over with.
if at town meeting you would have a number for the financial impact that would,
No.
No, because we don't need
well,
that yet.
well, how could somebody,
Well, we can find
Make
out
a-
what it is, what it's going to be. I see your point. You know, people should have all the information before they decide whether they want to do it or not. We can get that. O'Donnell and O'Donnell, as you know, is doing the re-eval, and they are qualified to give those estimates. And because they've just done the town and they've been on Covewood, they can come up with estimates on what the damages would be. So if that question were to come out on the floor, I'm sure we could have that information, because it would make a difference on whether people would vote, yes, let's continue on. So there's no reason why we can't have that
whether it's
information.
$100 damages or $1 million damages?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We don't know, we don't have a clue, because this just came to us, like I said, Tuesday, so we don't have a clue what it would cost to do this. But you're absolutely right in pointing that out, because that's definitely going to have a bearing on how people vote.
And it would be, as long as everyone understands that they would be estimates.
Yeah, they would be estimates.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but they would be able to give us estimates, because when we asked the questions about this, they said that not every appraiser can do this, that it's like a special training. But I did call O'Donnell today, and they said that they can do that, and they have done that for other towns that have discontinued roads. So they are capable of doing that. And where they've just spent all that time there, it'll be real easy. It'll just be some number crunching for them.
Was there any rationale given to why this article was brought to you people?
Yes. Covewood Drive, the rationale was simply that Covewood Drive continues to pose a difficulty in the eyes of some of the people in the town, as far as it being the only example in the state of Maine in which a town road is only accessible by a private road, and that we have had repeated conversations and issues arise with how do we get to Covewood? How do we get our, do we plow 13th Street up to Covewood? Are we therefore responsible for maintaining 13th Street up to Covewood? It's a question, I think that the idea behind it was Covewood is an issue because of its very peculiar nature, and this is a way to solve that issue that hasn't been proposed before. There have been other proposals that have been looked at and weighed merits and negatives, and this is simply another proposal that we'll toss out to the people and see what they think.
If the people decide not to pursue this, it's not going to change any of the issues, right?
You're right. You're right. The issue will still be there, that it's the only town road in the state that's accessible only by a private road.
But if they choose not to pursue it, then we know that that's not one of the solutions that people are interested in.
The other thing is, I asked the question the other night at the public hearing, and I was sorry to see that no selectmen were there.
I was picking my son up from college and seeing my daughter graduate from college.
Good, Ted. Your kids do very good. I'm very proud of them. But one of the questions was, and hopefully you'll have this answer for town meeting too, you got plenty of notice, is there's a certain amount of acreage that is, if the map's adopted, that's going to be in resource protection, which has not been assessed in the past as resource protection, whether it's supposed to be or not, it's irrelevant, but it hasn't been assessed that way.
You talking about new areas that are going to become?
Well, the controversy is supposedly the state says that this properties there always was in resource protection. The town just never had them mapped appropriately, and they weren't assessed accordingly, the way they were supposed to be. So there's quite a few acres in town that is going to be mapped different, and I would also like, hopefully you have an answer at town meeting, what impact this is on the valuation, because I would assume that the more restrictions you put on property, especially in resource protection, you can't build on it and different things like that, so obviously it would lose a certain amount of value. But you still have to have a certain amount of money to operate the town, so the loss of revenue that you would acquire from this land that's being put in resource protection obviously would impact the tax rate, because you'd still have to have $7 million to run the town.
Yeah.
So
Change the mill rate.
exactly. So hopefully you'd have this answer for town meeting.
We certainly can. From just a preliminary, though, yes, you would offset whenever somebody else's property value goes down in assessment. It means that the remaining monies are redistributed to the other people's properties. I'm looking at Lorraine for confirmation because I know she'll tell me if I'm wrong. But the acreage that you're discussing, it's already assessed as back acreage. So we have already discussed with O'Donnell's. They are going to be using our proposed zoning maps. Mike O'Donnell knew JT at Southern Maine Regional Planning already. He said, is JT the one that does your maps? Yes. He said that he would talk to JT. They're hoping to incorporate them into the assessing software program as well, so that Kenny has easier access to what properties are in what districts and zones. And we talked about how does zoning affect assessment, and they are aware that we would like them to consider that and to take into account those zones. They, of course, need to wait until town meeting to find out what they're going to do. They're waiting to see what is adopted at town meeting before they apply that to the
I
assessment.
appreciate that, Larissa.
So we can certainly ask O'Donnell's to be there even to answer the questions directly so that you're not hearing it from somebody else. But that has already been discussed with them, and we have already asked them to take zoning into account with the assessments. As far as, like I said, the back acres that you're discussing that would be correctly identified as the state does on our town maps, those are back acreage. So even if they are shifted to resource protection and therefore, we would hope, decreased in assessed value, I don't think that we're talking as much assessed value decrease as to cause a noticeable increase in the tax rate. I think that if it were half the town, that would be one thing, but we're not talking that many acres as far as...
How many acres are you talking?
I'm assuming we're not talking about more than 500 acres, 600 acres that are going to be in that situation. And so if the current value on a back acre is what, Lorraine, on average?
It varies on different ones. It may be from 1,700 to 2,500 on back acres.
Okay, so even if and then if
It
something's
would drop down to an unbuildable value, which usually is like half, is
Okay.
what usually the unbuildable value is.
Okay,
So if you're talking 500 acres, that the value is going to be cut approximately in half. It still is quite a bit of valuation.
it's, yeah, it's a sizable amount, but it's not enough to cause a giant spike in tax rate. But we can certainly find out exactly how much it would equate to.
I appreciate it, because I will be asking the question at the town meeting, just so that people, again, know a little more understanding of...
When are the O'Donnells going to start meeting with people?
The O'Donnells will not send out letters until the end of June.
At the end of June, okay.
So the letters will not have gone out before town meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other business?
After I thought through what I was trying to discuss, I'm thinking the transfer station's going to be open every Saturday anyway, right? On
Right.
Sunday.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay, so that's settled. The other issue I have, I spoke to you, Larissa, about letting the cable committee put a curtain across covering up the phone booth, and it will not interfere with the doors, the exit doors, and it can be parted for voting times. Because when you look at the camera, like when I was viewing something on Channel 26, I saw Christmas decorations over here. Now, maybe nobody else notices these things, but now you look at the curtains now, they're all parted. And then you have rubbish in the corner. That's one of the things I noticed. And I thought, we're trying to present a good picture. The cable committee's trying to present a good picture. So if we had a curtain across there, it won't cost the town anything. Nancy will make the curtain out of materials that we would purchase. Is that okay?
What do people think?
You're talking about having a backdrop for when the camera's running? Yeah.
Well, it will be there permanent, probably.
I wonder if it could be, well, when did we decide to align like this? Why did we stop having our backdrop be
I don't
the
know.
plain white wall?
It's because we went live. They have to have it down there to plug into live. Is that correct?
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a question if you'd like to come forward, please.
I was going to ask you guys if you were in a closed door session.
Is there a reason that we can no longer be backdropped by the plain white wall?
The past, well, you can, and I was going to ask you how you wanted it, but the door was closed. But the past several meetings, there have been 9 to 10 people wrapping around this room, and sitting here, there's not enough distance to, fit everything on the screen. So on top of that, it's just easy to roll everything out right there and plug it in.
Okay, it didn't have anything to do with you going live that you had to be back there?
It's closer to the receiver, but the main purpose is everything's right there, and it's just what we've done the past 5 meetings.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's been 10 or 20 people per, meeting at the tables. So
Staging is in order. If we're going to be live, if we're going to be taping everything, having appropriate staging for our theatrical events would be appropriate.
yeah, and as she pointed out, there is something that you could just hang over there.
And it would be, and as long as it would be past the fire exit doors, because that was my first concern, is that we certainly can't have a curtain blocking.
Yeah, and there's hangers. All you need is a cloth drape to spread across. It looks like.
And you'll make a suggestion as far as the material so that it works out good for the TV?
It'll probably be the material, similar color to what's on the wall.
Okay.
So it just,
Blends.
Well, I think we'd look better in front of red.
Whatever you're viewing in front of that will show up better.
It also leaves more room for spectators to come and visit.
Spectators.
There's an opportunity for a blue screen so you can put whatever you want back there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Don't wear blue at the meetings. It'll be visible.
that wouldn't be a bad thing. We could just come in with face paint.
The body is head.
I think you could have a curtain going around the table there, too.
Yeah, that would be nice too. I tried that once and it disappeared.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yes and no.
Oh, well, guys, we're in favor?
Especially if it doesn't cost anything.
Well,
Is she making me do more work?
no,
All right.
you don't have to sew anything. All right,
I have to change one of the brackets.
so make a curtain in good faith? Okay. Any other business? Okay, moving on to announcements. Who has an announcement? Anyone?
I don't,
I think we've got them all on.
yeah.
No, we had, okay, well, one of them that was a positive announcement that I didn't get on. We have, and I need to get their names straight, so I'm not going to name them right now, the ones that I'm not quite sure of, but we have 4 seniors that are graduating this year that have really done Acton proud. We have 2 in the top 10, and we have a student that was voted Student of the Year for the vocational, other student that's graduating in the top 50. So we are going to make a cable slide up to get those names up there, and I'm sorry, I meant to call and get their spellings properly, so I did not mispronounce anybody on air, and we will make sure to do that at the next meeting because it will still be before graduation. But it is very nice to see when Acton kids represent our town in such a positive way, and when you do out the ratios, Acton is a higher percentage of the top 10 by far than they are of the general student body. So that is also an excellent sign. So very, very proud of, and one of them was number 2, which is really just incredible. So look forward to that next meeting. I'd also like to talk to some of the graduating seniors and find out where all of our kids are heading next year and start advertising how many of our kids really are heading to really neat places next year and pursuing some other educational and vocational opportunities. So other than that, nothing? Okay, great.
I make a motion, we go into executive session pursuant to MRSA 405-6-A for the possible disciplinary action against a town employee.
Second.
I will not ask for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Excellent. We are in executive session.